Hello,
Hi
and
there.
welcome to Socially Unsocial.
I'm Patty,
I'm Danielle.
and we're your hosts.
It has been an amazing response. Everyone's, oh, I see you're back. You're back. You guys are recording again. Season 3. Congratulations.
Oh, we are back. Oh my gosh, what a welcome back. This has been great.
It was, and I can really just jump to my high right away. So yeah, we're diving right in.
Yeah. We can't have this episode be another 58 minutes long.
I had my 25th high school reunion
Ooh.
last weekend, and I'm not being sexist in any way, but I really feel a lot of our listeners are female, even though we do have some really good fans that are male. Mm-hmm. But so I was in charge of the reunion, and I'm, checking people in or whatever. And this kid I went to high school with, he's like, I've listened to your podcast. He's like, you two are hilarious.
Danielle, we've made it.
I
You
was
went to
like-
a high school reunion, and you got, oh my gosh. You didn't have to make anything up to be noticed, to be celebrated.
But the
just
fact
your real
that this
life.
kid just was like, oh, okay. Either he was super bored and ran out of podcasts to listen to, and he's like, I'll just give it a whirl. I kind of found her funny in high school, so let's see what she's got.
Do you think you were funny in high school?
Well, I don't.
You know what?
I feel like you just don't become funny. It's got to be with you for a little bit.
I don't think I was anybody from high school would even remotely think I was funny. Nope. I don't think I had found it yet. I don't think I had gone through enough and processed enough to be funny in life. You know what I mean? I think I was just scarred and...
No, I think
Like-
I've always had that sarcastic, defensive sarcasm.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. It's interesting, too, to look inward and be like, this is what I believe I'm perceived as versus what you're actually perceived
Right.
as. So either way, you went to your reunion, somebody brought up the podcast. I love that.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, yeah, look at me. So
Oh my
if you're
gosh.
still listening, Paul, thank you.
Thanks,
I really
Paul.
appreciate that.
You made it into her high of the week. Oh my gosh.
I know.
But also, what is it called? The real estate magazine that you're on? The best of
Chicago
the best?
agent.
Yeah, what's that award? What's that title that you got?
Oh, the who's who. Of,
Okay. The who's who?
Yeah.
I think that's so cool. So when you went to your reunion, I don't know, like props to me that I was part of like what you're known for a little bit.
Right? So you're always with me even when you're not.
I'm shocked that they weren't like, hey, I saw you in that magazine. Oh, yes, you're doing real estate now. I saw you in your magazine spread year after year of the who's who. That's so cool.
And
They
the
brought
guy,
that up?
And the guy who's doing the best from our high school,
Mhm, the very successful man.
Yeah. We were talking, and he's like, we were talking about social, because he's not on social media, and I was like,
That's why
oh,
he's successful. He doesn't waste time on social media, so now he just works.
that probably is it.
100%.
But I had brought up too, it was a nice organic conversation. I was like, oh, well, if it wasn't for my job, I probably wouldn't have social media, but that I have a podcast, and that's what it's kind of based on. He goes, you have a podcast? And I was like, yeah. Like, no one can have a podcast. Everyone can have a podcast. But yeah. And we kind of talk about the highs and lows of social media, because as much as people say it's a time waster and messes with you mentally, there are some good things. I mean, the reunion wouldn't have been able to happen unless all these people were not on Facebook for me to get a hold of them, because I don't have these people's numbers or email addresses from, 25 years ago. So again, it helped us stay connected, and we had about 60 people show up. So, I mean, Jay's like, you're proud of 60 people, but how many people were in your graduating class? I'm like, yeah, over 600, but still, like, that's not bad, right?
There was over 600 in your graduating class. Mm-hmm. Wow. Two things. That's crazy. Yeah, that's not a great turnout at that point, but sure. But also, I love that you're proud of that.
That's why I keep them around.
I freaking love spouses and significant others. Best friends are nicer to each other than significant other, than the person that you freaking made your vows with in front of the priest. Oh, I'm always gonna love you in sickness and in health. But if you only get 60 people at your reunion out of 600, you better believe I'm not letting you feel proud of that. Right. What is with marriage? Oh my gosh. It's so funny.
I think you just wanted to be a douche that day. He's like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God. The next day, I'm like, it was so much fun. Everyone had such a good face. Like, calm down. It wasn't that fun. I'm like, you didn't have to go.
He said calm down, it wasn't that fun.
Yeah.
No reunions are fun. So if it was a little bit fun for a reunion, it's not, hey, we went out on Saturday with our best friends and it was really fun. It's a different scale. Reunions are awkward. It's a different scale. So if it was even a little bit fun,
it was a lot of it
through the roof. Okay. So congrats on that.
Yeah. So if you want me to help you plan your reunion,
I don't even want to go to mine, let
me.
alone plan it. Because you were the wrestling manager, did you get an in to, hey, she's the one that's got to do this and she's the one that's going to plan it?
Like I said, it kind of fell on my lap, but everyone's like, oh, you're the perfect person because you were kind of friends with a lot of people in a lot of different groups, so it was helpful.
Oh, you were
Even
so
though
popular?
my friend Jackie was like, you were such a bitch. I'm like, no, I was not a bitch. Yeah. I hung out with some bitchy people, but I don't feel like I was bitchy.
Well, I
was a wrestling manager in junior high.
Okay.
Get that straight, please.
Wait, my son is on middle school soccer. He made the team. Congrats, Theo.
Oh, good job, Theo.
Yeah, Mike and I were a little nervous because even though he's good, you have no idea how good these other kids are. And it's made up of 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. So at the beginning of the year, Mike and I were kind of like, oh, is this going to be such a letdown for him? But he ended up making it. He's one of 3, I think, 6th graders on the team. And his coach constantly tells him how great he's doing. So it's been really awesome. The first game, I'm on the parent sideline and across the way is the team. And then there's these 2 girls. I'm like, are those the coach's daughters? Who are those girls? They're cheering obnoxiously, but I was a cheerleader, so I can say that. No hate, but we are obnoxious. And I'm like, God, they're just cheering so loud. And I was like, Mike, that is Danielle. They are the soccer managers. I'm like, how did they get that role? Did they have to try out? What is happening? I was like, Mike, remember Danielle was the wrestling manager?
People just want to be a part of something.
I didn't.
I feel like that's the goal in life.
I mean, but to that extreme?
I think back then you probably didn't want to be a part of something because you weren't comfortable and you figured if you did something, people would make, oh, she's a dork or she's a loser or something. Like we had so many thoughts that
well, did you do a sport?
I didn't make a lot of sports because I'm not coordinated enough. Okay. So it literally was just the bottom of the barrel.
Okay, because I was on the cheer team. So.
Yeah, okay.
I love sliding that in sometimes. Literally glory days. I was the captain of my cheer team in high school.
Of course you were. It was that smile.
I know. I was very peppy. Yep. I was very peppy and I liked bringing people together. I liked hyping people up. I think that part of when I became a fitness instructor, in my head to rationalize the fact that, hey, I'm not crazy for trying to do this. I was like, well, it kind of checks out. I was a cheerleader and I really like seeing other people do well. I don't need to be the one doing well. I don't need to be the football player making the catches. I just am happy watching them.
Yeah.
That's like some people. And then you were happy taking care of the wrestlers and making sure that, I don't know what you had to do, make sure they had their headpieces and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just keep everything organized.
Aww.
I was a Google spreadsheeter back then.
I was just going to say, was that the beginning of you and your spreadsheets?
Oh, it was so funny.
Oh, my God, that's so funny.
I was talking with Michelle the other day, and we were talking about a gift for a friend, right? Mm-hmm. And so she was asking me for ideas, and I was like, oh, or you can do this. And she's like, oh, well, do you know where I can get that? And I was like, right away, I sent her, the link, and she goes, I keep an eye on all you guys and what you do and where you shop. She goes, do you have Google spreadsheets on all of us?
That's funny. Oh, I bet you do.
Well, sometimes that brain works of mine and sometimes it doesn't. The weird things we remember and then the weird things we forget. Or I guess maybe not forget is the right word. Maybe repress.
True. Yeah. Yep. I know the brain, I don't want to ever go back to school, but it's interesting to see what is going on up there. Why do we remember certain things? Why do certain things stick with us? That's crazy.
Yeah. So it might've been a combination of a few things. So I had a dream the other night and my history teacher from high school made an appearance in my dream the other day.
What was their name?
I don't remember.
Oh, but you remember their face.
I remember their face. I remember their demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, the next day I was trying to think, is it because I remember talking about politics in that class? You learned about Democrats and Republicans. And I remember doing those whole exercises with everything that's happening in the world. And then I was like, oh, I had to look up an agent the other day because I wanted to punch her in the face. So I wanted to see what her face looked like. So I looked her up and she kind of maybe kind of familiar, looked like her, like some similarities. I don't know, but I was like, okay, it's just crazy how your brain takes everything that you're doing in your daily life and then meshes it all together when you sleep, and then they just appear. And then obviously the reunion, I guess, high school reunion. So again, because we did the tour of the school, so kind of walking through that. I don't know, but funny how our brain works.
Yeah, that is so interesting. Dreams. My brother Peter does not watch or listen to our podcast. So rude. Peter, do you listen? Anyways, he would always say that dreams, when we would be at the kitchen table and my sister or I would be like, oh, I had this dream last night. And then we'd go through and then we would sit there and dissect it. Because, in high school, what else do you have to talk about? Dreams. And my brother was really big on telling us dreams are God's little secrets to yourself. So zip it. He never was invested in the dream conversations. So anytime someone's like, I had a dream, my go-to is just to think, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Now I'm on Peter's team where dreams are just God's little secret to yourself.
But is it because you're having some really effed up dreams that you feel bad sharing it? Because people are going to be looking at you like, what the
I actually don't dream these days. I feel like I go through spurts where I'm just not dreaming.
But you do dream, you just don't remember them. Or if you're not dreaming, you are not getting into REM sleep.
I'm probably not getting into REM sleep.
Okay, well, you should probably look into that because that's not healthy.
No, you know what? Do you have one of those Aura rings or a watch that tells you how much sleep you got?
No, because I'm doing a new thing now.
Oh, what is this?
I haven't worn my Apple Watch.
Oh, that's right.
Because I think that they're trying to control me or they're sending electrodes through me. So it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks almost. So I don't really feel a difference besides not having those shocks go through my arm.
Interesting. But wait, you had shocks going. Okay, yeah, I'm glad that you took that off. That could have been a faulty Apple Watch at that point. What? Yeah, my arm was on fire. Yeah, we'll take off the Apple Watch.
But these people that sleep with it to track it, that can't be healthy that you're constantly having something on your skin 24 hours a day because now you need to count your steps and your heartbeat and then your sleep and all these things. And
so interesting and such a good point. I read that your phone, or that, I don't know, whatever, like that people were getting breast cancer more because they're tucking their phone into their bra, or that men are getting testicular cancer more because it's constantly in their pocket.
Yeah.
And that is scary. So, I mean, also, I'm the type of person that I'm not into the conspiracy theories. However, if you say it and now it's in my head, why wouldn't I maybe just not tuck it into my bra or in my pants? You know what I mean? You would just, so at night I move my phone and then I'm like, I shouldn't be sleeping. My phone should not be the alarm clock. I should probably just turn off the phone, put it in the other room and use an actual alarm clock.
That's what they say you should do.
And use an actual sound machine and not my phone as that. Okay.
They were saying that too. If you should not be on your phone more than 2 hours before you go to bed because it's like having 5 cups of coffee, the way the blue light stimulates you. So that's why people have rough sleep because they can't shut their brain down.
I mean, last night, it's funny that we were talking about this. We got the kids to bed, got ourselves in bed, and then Mike went to sleep. And he was like, aren't you tired? We are so tired. And I said, yes, we are so tired. However, at what point today did I just take for reading or scrolling or just me time? I said, so now what's better for me? Getting, a half hour to 45 minutes of me time or getting that sleep? And I was like, I'm choosing the me time. But I don't know.
We just have to choose our me time, I think, better because scrolling is definitely not beneficial.
My algorithm is beautiful. My algorithm shows me, ways to be a better person and awesome quotes that is like thoughtful.
I don't think it's about what you're watching. It's what it's doing to the blue light and the stimulation. It doesn't help you calm yourself down. So if you do that for 45 minutes and you want to go to bed, you might be awake for another 45 minutes or half hour versus if you read, you're calming your body down and you can go into probably a serener sleep.
Yeah, that sounds lovely. Not for me. Not for me. Because also I have a Kindle and I'm obsessed with it now. So I don't buy books. I just am on my Kindle. Yeah, okay. So if it's not one screen, it's the next. I mean,
does a Kindle have a different light?
Yeah, and I love it. So
okay, so
calming.
It's probably better for you than scrolling on Instagram.
100%. Yep. Oh. Yeah. Everyone's got their vice, right?
Exactly. What was your high?
I had so many.
Oh, well, pin a rose on your nose.
I had so many, you guys. Okay, first off, I'm just going to go through this quick, okay?
Okay, do it.
We went to the Luke Bryan concert.
Theo's first concert.
My son's first concert. I had so much fun. We got sandwiches to tailgate and eat on the way up. Mike ended up getting off of work early. My mom, for the 80th time in a row, babysat. What do people do without help from family and friends? My goodness. So yes, she took the other two boys. I was feeling a little guilty for not bringing our 9-year-old Michael, because he's the one that will sing songs. I mean, maybe not Luke Bryan, but I'm sure he knows all the words just from listening to it in the car and stuff. But so I did feel a little guilty, but Mike was like, no, Michael is going to be so tired. The concert didn't start till whatever time. So it was just like a, trio excursion, and it was so fun. I feel like so many people went, and it was to a farm tour to help.
I said 20,000 people.
Oh, it didn't feel like that.
No.
Crazy. But it was cool. And then literally I'm already looking up Country Thunder, like day tickets, just to go and leave, because that was such a big part of my growing up. I think the first time I went to Country Thunder was when I was like 13 or 14. Probably shouldn't have been going there camping out with my sisters and their older friends, but whatever, I did it. And it was amazing and fun. And just, like got bigger and bigger, obviously, because then we started going to Country Thunder. So now to be like, it's so weird to be doing things with your kids that you remember doing as a kid. It's like life is wild.
But that's the great thing about when you're in a family or you're around friends that have traditions and things. So it's something to look forward to, and then something that you can, do and then carry on. So there's always something going on. There's something that your kids are talking about. It's something that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then I think as a parent, and obviously I don't know this, but I'm just going to assume that your experience at Country Thunder with your siblings and your dad, and then it's, as much as you think it's going to be similar, it's going to be a completely different experience for you and your kids, because now you're the adult and now you're seeing it through their eyes. So it'll be just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely is so cool. I think because I just recently lost my dad. Luckily, we still have my mom and I still have my in-laws. But, so everything, and I don't know, I guess you could tell me. So I'm thinking, because we just lost my dad recently. So everything is so laced with a little bit of sadness too, where it's like, I'm sitting there talking with Theo and he'll point out something that I used to appreciate about concerts, or he would say something and I'd be like, God, that just reminds me of something I would say to my dad, or it just like, so it's beautiful doing all these awesome things, but it's so sad when you miss somebody. But then I wonder, is that just how it is? Is that just like grief forever?
Yeah, there'll always be sadness.
Yeah.
I know I'm a little bit more morbid than most. There's some times that I think in the last handful of years being like, thank God my dad's not here, because I don't think he'd be able to survive what is happening in the world today. The intensity, the hate. I think he would be very sad right now and not understand it. And so sometimes I'm very grateful that he was almost saved from having to deal with this part of life.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also think that we try very hard, because when our friend Michelle, she went through a huge loss when she lost her child just over a year ago. And talking to her, I'm always just so in awe of the level of strength that she probably doesn't want to have to show and didn't want to have. But I'm just sitting there like, wow, the way that we have to find a silver lining in the worst scenarios of life. And maybe it's, a belief in God or a belief in heaven and a belief that, somehow, some way it is going to be okay and we are going to get through every single horrible thing. But it's interesting that, you're sitting here talking about this little silver lining that you've created, and who knows, it could be completely spot on or it could be like not true. But it's like, so speaking of how crazy the brain is, it's like it kind of helps you in a way to make sense of things that don't make sense, right, or to look for something good that can come out of it.
Yeah.
Crazy. So yeah, that concert was great. If you guys were there, I'm surprised I didn't see you, because I saw everybody. I was like, oh my God, I know that person from here and there and there and there.
Oh wow, all those people, and you still saw a lot of people.
Yeah, and then my niece was there. And I didn't see her.
Oh, really?
I'm like, oh, shoot. We must have had a busy week that I wasn't talking to my sister. And I'm so bummed, because that would have been awesome. But yeah, it was a good concert. It was great. And then I had a huge work event on Sunday. And so my fitness studio is a cycle studio in Hoffman Estates, obviously, And I don't know, I've always wanted to do outdoor rides. Never could at certain gyms that I worked at, and then certain ones I could. But anyways, my friend Bree, her father was like, I'll help you move your bikes if you want to do this. So truly a bucket list item that turned into this total dream day of ours. We took our bikes to Lindy's Landing in Wakanda, which I love that space.
I'm so sorry I missed it.
Well, we're going to do it again because the excitement over it. We filled 2 classes on a Sunday out in Wakanda, which is just mind-blowing to me. I figured we could do at least one. And I was like, well, there's 3 of us teaching. We didn't even have bikes for all 3 of us because we had to sell them because there was so much interest.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it was just such a good day. The weather, held out for being the Midwest. It was perfect. And Lindy's Landing is so beautiful, right on the water. There's sand for the kids to play in the sand while you enjoy your food. The whole scenario was just perfect. And we taught 2 classes. It was beautiful. It was such a cool experience. Could not have done it without my friend Bree's dad. And Bree's on the team with us. She's an instructor and she taught. And I felt like it was so cool because her family is so close and they're Italian and they just kind of remind me of the best parts of my family growing up. And so to see her parents and then all of her siblings, literally all of her siblings were there with their kids. And I was just like, oh my God, that was almost more beautiful for me to witness that.
Right.
And remember how, good family is and loyalty and love and care and all of that stuff. So I don't know. There was just so much to just look around and be like, wow, this season of life is really, really cool, through all the hardships.
Well, I am so happy for you that it was a success. And because I was worried that the weather was going to rain.
I know.
But when I woke up that morning, I was like, thank God I did not commit because I wasn't feeling it.
You're like, I had way too much fun.
Yeah, I don't even know what time I went to bed. So,
Aww.
But I will definitely tell me the date and I'll mark it in my calendar now.
Perfect.
And then I'll bring some people because I told a few people at the reunion that has done cycle that they owe me classes.
Oh my gosh.
So bring some people.
Wait, we can do a giveaway. Anybody who listens to my podcast can get a free week at the studio. Oh. And if you went to, what high school was it? Conant. I was going to say Schaumburg. If you went to Conant High School, whether or not you know Danielle, whether or not you like her, whether or not you went to the reunion, if you went to Conant, hit us up and you can get a free week. I'm so excited to meet you. If you're at Conant currently, and if you're a cheerleader, you get 2 weeks free.
All right. DM us, all you Conant Cougar, your cheerleading Conant Cougars.
Oh, ooh. I love that. Also, I feel like Oprah being like, you get a car, but only it's like you get a free week of working out.
But don't say it like that. You get a week, you get a week, you get a week.
Oh, man.
Oh, well, I'm glad. Okay, I didn't have as many highs as you, but we both had good weeks.
Yeah. Some weeks are better than others.
I mean, I could also shift focus and just tell you about all the shitty parts of my week.
I know. I was going to say, I bet you beat me in Lowe's.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah. That's a competition I really want to win. I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah. We don't need to win. We don't need to win there.
No, but so the meat and potatoes of my conversation today is I'm just curious because I literally went back soul searching in my brain and through my phone. So I think we've talked about this before about tone. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you cannot understand people's tone when a text message and an email, on a comment on Facebook, more in-person conversations, over the phone conversations. The rule me and Jay had when we didn't like the person's tone, we just remind them that we don't like their tone when we're having a conversation. So tone plays a big role, I think, in relationships.
What do you think tone is, though? Is tone like, would you say, oh, that's the intention behind it, or that's the way that you speak it, maybe with a kind of a bitchy attitude? What's with your tone? It's more just a presentation. It's not really a feel.
Well, are you talking about interpretations in writing?
I'm asking Chad.
Or
because I'm thinking
when you're talking to someone.
If you're saying that you and Jay, while you argue, that you can diffuse the situation simply by being like, your tone is off.
Have you ever had people talk down to you?
Oh, God. Yeah. So it's so rude.
But it's not what they're saying. It's how they're saying it. So it's their tone.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Or you're condescending or bitchy or better than.
I hate condescending people. I hate it so much when people think that they're better, or they just are like, yeah, do you get it? Do you understand? Am I making sense to you? I'm like, yeah. Like, are you Albert Einstein that you think that you're like, yeah, I gotcha.
Right. Yeah. It didn't
totally
go over my
understand.
head.
Yeah.
I'm paying attention.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the tone in conversation is important, just as important as the actual words being said. This is from Chad.
Okay.
Because it shows intent and emotion. It communicates how you feel, not just what you say. So a simple phrase like "I'm fine" can mean very different things depending on whether it's said warmly, flatly, or sharply. So that is where the tone comes in. And then they're saying actually that using tone correctly prevents misunderstandings.
Right.
So I love that because people can say things so mean. They're like, well, I just said this. And it's like, yeah, but it was the way that you said it.
Right.
So it's like, use the correct tone and own the tone, and then there won't be a misunderstanding.
So
Okay.
my question to you is, how do we avert this in a text message or email? Do I need to put angry emoji first so then they know my tone's going to be angry? A happy emoji first so then they know this is a happy, I understand a lot of it should be too based on relationship. If I'm texting you and saying something, you are probably going to interpret it in a way that is if I was saying it to you. And maybe obviously, if it's a week that maybe we had a little fight or something, or we're not seeing eye to eye, and you're thinking I'm not coming from a place of love and I'm coming from a place of attack, your tone, no matter what, is going to feel attacked. But how do we avoid that?
By everything that you just said. You do an emoji. Do you know that just the other day I was writing this email for a work thing, and I had to go through and I was like, actually, I'm not happy about any of this. So I'm taking out all these exclamation points, because if I'm adding exclamation points, to me, that emotes happiness, that emotes friendliness, and I didn't want to convey that. So period here, period there, right?
Right.
So if I'm doing a text, if I'm feeling rude, I mean, it's going to come off rude. It's going to be very short and this and that. And I mean, that's where texts are the worst, because it's this quick communication that basically is, I don't care about you enough for a phone call.
But I feel like you can't say that either, because most people just hate phone calls.
Well, too bad. It's so sad for them.
So it's like if you pick up the phone and they don't answer, so then what are you supposed to do? Just not communicate with them then?
No, you text, but you know that so here's the thing. Nobody hates phone calls because, so first you have in-person connection. That is top tier communication. Then next, I would imagine, is a phone call. Maybe letters when letters started, Then the next thing is texts. So I'm not sitting on the phone with people that I don't care about.
I take this into consideration because of my work, right?
True.
And so when I sit down with my clients and I was like, listen, I believe in communication, but I understand people are busy. So I always want to keep you in the know and let you know what's going on. So what's the best way to communicate? How do you prefer to communicate? I said, because if anything's important, even if you don't prefer to talk on the phone or in person, if there's anything super important, I want to get on a phone call or I want to meet in person. But if I'm just filling you in on the day-to-days, can I send you a text or can I send you an email? Because some things are worth just a text or an email, just to be like, here's
quick
what's
and
going
easy.
on.
Sure.
Right. Same thing I feel with, friendships. If you're a person that talks to somebody regularly and you know what's going on in your life, whatever, I feel I shouldn't have to text you and be like, hello, how are you today? What's going on? How was your Monday? I'm just going to get to the meat and potatoes of the conversation. Hey, how'd your event at Lindy's Landy go? Was it a success? Right. I feel we're at that point of our relationship where I don't really need to give you some fluff. Because the flip side is every time I see a text message come through and I see, hi, how are you doing? How have you been? Hope things are well. I know after that, hope things are well, a question and a favor's coming in, because it's probably someone I haven't talked to in a while, and now they feel like have to be nice to me and say nice things and asks how I'm doing in order to get that favor approved. Right? Am I right?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I think it also speaks to the level of closeness with the person, and the fact that yes, you can just write to me and be like, hey, how's this, or what happened with this, and it's quick and it's easy because our friendship is just easy. But the pleasantries of life, I mean, it's like part of me wants to say, I don't have time for that. I personally I have one friend that comes to mind who will just randomly text me and just be like, hey, how are you doing? How's your week going? And I actually do love that, but Oh my God, what was that?
Maybe that.
Oh my God, that was really loud. I thought something was coming down behind me.
We're okay. Guys, we're okay. Nothing fell on us.
Oh my God. So anyways, this one friend of mine will say that, and I love when she says that, but that's not the norm. Like, people don't normally take time to just be like, hey, how are you? Because they either want something, so they're like buttering you up, or they don't have time for it. They don't care.
Well, I think that's situational. Like, if you don't talk to them and they don't know really what's going on in your life, just for them to say, hey, I'm thinking of you. How are you? Those are standard words that you put in a text message or an email. That's fine, right? But okay, let's say if you were to tell this friend, like, oh, say they knew about your, event at Lindy's Landing and all this other things, and then, like, wouldn't you then expect, like, oh, how'd your event go? Not just back following up with the generic, how are you doing? How was your week? Like, you now want to know that you were paying attention to a conversation you just had with a friend. And you're asking the right questions. That's what's called a conversation, right?
Totally. I think that actually that friend did the next day. This is just right. Hey, how are you? Or, I don't know. She said, how are you? I'm going to look. I'm going to look because I want to see what's quote unquote normal in the world. And then I know what your normal is. Your normal is I'm busy. You check in on 1,000,001 people. You keep our friend group together, like all that stuff. Monday morning, she just writes to me, no hello, nothing. How was your outdoor cycle event? Just saw the post. Looks like it was awesome. Aw.
Right.
Yeah, so she got straight to the meat and potatoes. But she had 2 exclamation points. So that means that she was happy with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, like the tone of what you say, like also in texts. So here's what I always think now, because I have been through a lot of like what I call text wars, where I'm just like, oh my God, get me out of this. I hate this so much, because it's just like back and forth, improving points or whatever, basically trying to like mend friendships, relationships, whatever it is. And of course, God forbid anybody meet in person these days, like they're just like, oh, we're so scared. Let's
have
just
a real
do it.
Conversation.
I hate it. Yeah. It's so frustrating. So we're down to text, and then, so while we've got that going, and I always, when I write it out, I think to myself, okay, this is how I'm saying it, but how are they going to say that Patty's saying it? Because they think that I'm this, this, and this. So in this moment, they're going to believe I'm saying it in this sort of way with this sort of tone. So how do I change that? Now, that takes time. That takes sitting back and self-reflection and blah, blah, blah. So a lot of times we don't have the time for that. And then it's like, okay, then is that relationship worth going through all that to like rewrite who you are so that they don't misinterpret it? It's like, that's exhausting. Some people are worth it and some people aren't. And as long as it doesn't happen all the time, and I mean, let's be real, we're women. So, our hormones like get the best of us, and we lose patience in the, blink of an eye. Like if someone breathes wrong or chews wrong, like they're, so it's like we all
have our things for sure.
We're rough to please. So it's like everyone just needs a little bit of grace. And again, it's like, stop playing the victim almost. Like nobody's out to get us in these tones with these texts. It's kind of like literally we're all just doing our best. And
right.
it's awful sometimes. Like sometimes our best is horrible. And maybe that's all we've got to give. And maybe that quick text is all that we can muster, but we want you to know that we care about you. But I'm just shooting this off. And if it's not good enough, it's not good enough. And all you can do is just keep showing up. And maybe next time you add a smiley face at the end.
Yeah, I guess I got to be more intentional. I guess I have really to think about my texts before I send them, I guess. But yeah, that was basically my low of the week, was just misinterpretation when I thought I was coming from a place of love, and then it turned out it was interpreted as not. So I was just curious on, the interpretations, because, I've also been trying to get better at picking my battles. Like there was something that happened last night with Jay, and I was like, I really want to argue with him about it, like, and tell him that he's wrong. But you know what? I don't care. It's not even worth it. It was so stupid, and like old Danielle was like, nope, you're going to get the last word. You're going to prove that you're right. But I'm like, you know what? I don't have the energy. I don't care.
That is growth. Wow.
Yeah. See, without a therapist.
How did that happen? Without a therapist. Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So
congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah. Inch by inch.
Oh, that's
day
fun.
by day.
I always think about you and Jay, though, because it's like sometimes in life, you could just say something and it's like, what is life without the banter back and forth? Without, kind of being like, whoa, what about looking at from this point of view? Like hanging out with you and Jay it's never a dull moment, because you guys could literally sit and you talk about, what was that one question that you asked last season on the podcast? You're like, hey, if you had $1 million and like someone bet with you, would you give the winnings to the person that loaned you that dollar for that slot machine or blah, blah? It's like, who knows and who cares? But like all of a sudden you're in this hour-long conversation and it went all day into the next day, into next week's podcast episode. It's like there's just never a dull moment, because it's like you guys can just talk about stuff and go back and forth. So I don't know, Mike was like, you always, bring up the other points of things when I say things. I'm like, oh, I thought I was just being interesting. But, okay. But you are perceiving that as me being, I don't know, annoying or like always testing.
Like confrontational. But yeah, just like, I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah,
like I just want to hear what you have to say or what your thoughts are on that, for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, everyone takes it in different ways,
Yeah. I mean, I was just curious because I thought maybe it was me, so I just wanted to get your intake on things too.
I'm sure it was you.
No, it's okay, and I'm okay with that. I've accepted it.
I mean, that's the step one is just kind of being like, okay, how do I do it different? Well, and that's the thing too, that totally to segue, but also it's like not really a segue, is when you have to communicate with people, whether it's in work, friendships, family. So you can either be like, well, this is me, and this is how I am. But I think that part of life and part of keeping relationships is realizing that that person doesn't accept it or doesn't understand it or doesn't receive it the way that, you want them to. So something I've learned a lot in the past 3 years is, how do I change how I speak to them? Because here's what I want. I want a happy and healthy conversation. I want a happy and healthy relationship with them. So if they're not seeing me as my true intention inside because of the way I'm saying it, because of my tone, because of a million and other factors, then I just have to think, okay, well, is this worth it to me to make those tiny tweaks and adjustments? Because they're going through this, and this, and they're seeing me as this way. And we just have to decide who's worth that time and energy. And there's going to come a time, and I think that's why so many relationships, as you are like getting older, end, because there comes a time where you're just like, this relationship isn't worth it to me. I'm tired. I don't have energy. I don't have the time to put in to all of this, but then there's some relationships when you're like, okay, wait, but this is actually a really meaningful relationship in my life. And recently Mike has said to me, like, at what point are you just going to stop reaching out? What point are you just going to give up on that? Like, I mean, he's sick of hearing, the back and forth. And I'm like, you know what, though? There's some relationships that I'll wait. I'll be okay. Like, I'll let this play out, but I'm always going to be there. And I'm always going to give that olive branch. And maybe one day they'll take it, and maybe they never will. Right. Maybe we'll be 80 and see each other at a coffee shop, and then it'll happen. And I'll never sit there and be like, wait, because that's that type of relationship that I'll just keep showing up for. So
beautifully said.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad it makes sense to somebody.
What was your low of the week?
My low of the week, oh my God, just dealing with piss poor attitudes. Like, I don't have time for it. You know what I mean? Mike, if you're listening, he's probably like, you're the one with the worst attitude all week. No. But yeah, man, like, I just can't stand. If you are grumpy, do not sprinkle that out into the world. Go be your grumpy self at home under your little rain cloud. Like, why? It's so annoying when people are mean to other people for no reason or go out of their way to just be nasty. So yeah, I think, you don't know how good you have it until like you're in another situation. So I'm trying to just breathe and just like get through and not let, people that really are like minuscule in my life affect me. But it's just like these nonstop like
but
things.
That's what people have to realize. It is powerful. And whether it's somebody you know or don't know, when you go out in the world and your personality reaches another person's personality, it's effective. Like, it's like the weirdest thing. Have you ever been like the silliest thing where you are holding a door open for somebody at a coffee shop or behind someone at a store in line, and they just are the grumpiest people in the world, and you're like, how did this stranger that I don't even know, I didn't have an interaction, but I can feel their energy, and now they just put me in a piss poor mood. Like it's very powerful, like contagious.
It is so, energy is so contagious, and you are responsible for the way that you show up to your day. 1,000,001 things can happen to you. Your coffee can spill on the way to work. This person can cut you off, blah, blah, blah. But are you going to show up to work and be like grumpy? Why? Because your coffee spilled? Because somebody cut you off? Because somebody yelled at you in the, drive-through line or honked their horn, like whatever. But it is really hard to kind of breathe and work through that and realize like, okay, wait, all this stuff happened, but now I have a choice to make. Is it going to be just like, oh, that was awful, and then move on with your day? Or is this going to be a thing where now it's your entire day is going to be laced with that negativity? I mean, it's hard to get out of. And I mean, really, for me, it depends on what time of the month it is. So
I think that's the biggest thing. Remember, we have a choice.
Yeah.
A lot of people think you don't have a choice. If you wake up and you hate your job, well, you have a choice. You can get a new job. You're going to go see somebody you don't want to go see. You have a choice. You don't have to go see them. So just remembering that the beauty in life and living here and being who you are is knowing that every day is a choice, and you're the only one that can make that choice.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's totally easier said than done. But if you can start to at least like realize that part of it, and then like, yeah, if I'm having a crappy day, I'll just sit there and be like, okay, well, I'm the one at this point, all these things have happened. I'm the one now letting myself have this crummy day. I'm the only one. It's not the person that, is yelling at me or on my case or this or my boss or blah, 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 like all the things. It's literally me. My husband's mad at me. Okay, so am I letting it affect the rest of my day, or am I going to let that be his problem, and just keep showing up?
Right.
But it's like that domino effect where it's like they're angry, and then now they did something mean to you, and then now you're angry. So then you're going to go and have a bad day over it.
Right.
Make that make sense.
It's like we're still children. It's like, well, they did that to me, so I'm going to do that to them. And they said that to me, and I want to say that to them. And it's like, no matter how old we are, we still get in that childlike mentality, and it's like a tit for a tat kind of thing. And it's like, okay, one day one of us has to take the high road, or just be like, okay, cool. You want to be mad about it? Be mad about it. I'm not going to be mad about it anymore.
Right. Because at that point, who wins?
Right.
Neither of us.
No.
And certainly not you when you're choosing to let somebody of very little significance in your life bring down your day.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, go for a walk outside. Oh my gosh, you guys. I think, isn't October not only breast cancer awareness month, but like mental health awareness month, like hopped in on October too?
I think so. They're both, yeah.
It is. So love that we're doing this podcast. Love that we got season 3 going again, because I do think that mental health is so important. And, friends are talking about your feelings and talking about your highs and your lows, and not just like the blah stuff and like the little things, but like really having people that you could speak to. And literally, if all you have is either a therapist or a journal to write down and, tell your stuff, do it. Writing is great. Get it out and take care of yourself. A walk, a good phone call with a friend, whatever it is that you need to turn your day around. Maybe it's a Luke Bryan song. I don't know. Whatever it is, find it and use it and fall back on it, because like we all need that.
Exactly. Well, it's the last Monday of September. So we will conquer and kick October's ass together.
Yay.
And maybe we can find ways to support each other even more so during that sober October or mental health.
Are we doing that? Okay, this is too much.
You didn't do it last week or last year.
There's too much.
My brother and I said we were going to do it.
This year you're saying that? Oh, good for you guys.
Yeah. So we'll see.
That's awesome.
We'll see.
All right, listeners. Well, let us know how you're doing. Let us know what you need from us.
Yeah. Anything you guys want us to dive deep in, talk about, relate to you about, so you don't feel like you're alone. Because I feel like that's the biggest thing. And in the meantime, we're going to keep being us so you can keep being you. Check you later.
We did 45.
That was good.